Hello, this is LionCat6, and today I'm going to be doing a resource pack tutorial for the Minecraft Bedrock version of the game. The objectives of today's video are going to be learning the basics about how a resource pack operates and changing the texture of a block using two different methods. Small disclaimer, I'm not a professional and I might not always know what I'm doing, and I do make mistakes sometimes. I hope you learned something and enjoy. Now to get started, we're not going to actually use the game here. We're going to head over and download the default resource pack. So you're going to want to go and head over to this URL right here. It will be included in the description, or you can just look up Minecraft Bedrock default pack, and it's this third one right here. Now you're not going to want to download it with the link at the top here, because this is a gutted version. You want the one with all the files. So you're going to want this link right here. Now go ahead and click that to start the download. I already have it downloaded for the sake of time. Now, once you have it downloaded, you're going to want to right click and extract all, or you could just press this button up here. Once again, I already have it done for sake of time, but once you do that, you'll have these files. Today we're going to be focusing on these three right here, as well as this folder called textures. Now to get started, you're going to want to go ahead and head over to where the Minecraft Bedrock resource packs are located, using one of two methods. So the first of which is to go to your Windows root, which can be found in this PC right here. Users, whatever the user profile you're currently using is. So you want to make sure you have view hidden files on. So you want to go here, hit options, show hidden files, and then apply. That will make sure you can see this folder right here. So you're going to go to app data, local, packages, and Microsoft.Minecraft UWP, not Java or Education Edition, but UWP. And in here you're going to go to app data, you're going to go to LocalState, games, com.mojang, and here we are. Now, as we are making a resource pack, and we will be developing it on the fly, you're going to want to use development resource packs. It is almost identical to the normal resource packs folder and everything that it does, except this one will allow you to update the pack without restarting the game. Alright, editor's note here. Turns out I forgot to do the second method. Whoops. It's very simple. All you gotta do, so Windows plus R opens up the Windows Run menu, or you can just press Windows and search up Run. Do the same thing. And then I will have this in the description, but you simply go to this file path. No need to type it in manually, but it is %localappdata %/packages. I'm not reading that out, but it will be in the description of the video. You simply paste that in there, hit enter, and you will also come up right here. It opened in a new window, which is why I dragged it over. Okay, back to the video. Now you're going to want to right click this and pin to quick access. That way it'll appear right here. Now once you do this, we're going to create a new folder for our resource pack. You can name this whatever you want. I'm going to name mine test pack. This won't show up in game. This is just for you to see. Now to get the files for it, we're going to go ahead and head back over to the resource pack we downloaded and unzipped. Now to make it convenient, you're also going to right click it and pin to quick access, and it will appear right underneath it. Now in here, you're going to want to copy the manifest, which is the most important part of the resource pack. Now we're going to go ahead and open this up with Visual Studio Code, which can be found in the Microsoft Store by Microsoft. And you don't need it. It's just helpful tool. It's just a helpful tool to have. You can also just open it up in Notepad, modify it here, but Visual Studio Code would be preferable. So in here we have format version, which is the format version of the manifest, which is for Minecraft, so you wouldn't touch that. You have header, which is the very all the main information for the manifest. So you'll have the description, the name, and the UID, which stands for Universal Unique Identifiers. And then you have the version number, which is what will appear in game, and then you have the minimum engine version, which is the minimum version of Minecraft required to run your resource pack. So go ahead and leave everything at default except for these three and these two right here. So the name is whatever you want to call your resource pack. So I'm going to be calling it Test Resource Pack. The description, I'm going to be calling Description for Test Resource Pack. Only the top one appears in game, but they might add a functionality for the bottom one in an update, or it might be shown somewhere else. Now to get the UUID, we're going to go ahead and go to a website called UUID Generator. The link will be in the description, uidgenerator.net. You're going to want to copy this top one, copy everything in between, highlight everything in between the quotes, backspace it, and then paste the new UUID. Then go back, click this button to refresh and make another. Then copy this new UUID and do the same to this bottom one. Now, as for the version number, you want it to be the same for both of these. Once again, the version number only needs to be changed if you update the resource pack and plan on having other people update it. As the way Minecraft will update its resource packs is you won't have to completely replace all the files. You simply import it in Minecraft if and only if this version number is higher than the pack version installed, then it will update. If not, it'll just error and say you already have the pack installed. It recognizes the pack by its UUID, which is why it has that. Doesn't matter what the name is, doesn't matter what the description is. This UUID is what identifies the pack. Now, this is all we need for now, so go ahead and save it. You can go here, File, Save, or you can just press Control S. Now next, we're going to be making the basic files necessary to change a texture in the game. Now, the specific texture we're going to be changing is oak planks, for a reason I will get to in a second. So, the reason why I chose oak planks is because there's multiple blocks that use the same texture. Oak planks, oak stairs, oak slabs, oak fences, and oak fence gates all share the same texture, just formatted differently for each block. So in the files, it is the same file. So we will be doing two methods to change it. We will be editing the oak planks texture, and then we will be creating a new texture and assigning it to one of the sides of this block. Now to do so, you're going to need to create the file path necessary. So you're going to create a folder called textures. And inside of the textures folder, you're going to create a folder called blocks. Now, in order to modify the texture, we need to find it. So first we're going to go to the vanilla resource pack, textures, blocks. Now because we're modifying an existing texture, we're going to locate it in here. Now you can just search up the block name. So oak planks. You may notice that the file name is different than what you searched up, so long as it includes all the parts of the texture. Explorer will find it depending on what the file name is. That is not always the case, so do be wary, and you might have to search through it manually. So next we're going to be putting that in our resource pack, so simply copy it, go back inside your block folders and blocks folder and paste it. And then we will be modifying it. You can use a number of programs to do so. In this tutorial, I will be showing you paint.net, which is installable from the Microsoft Store as well, or from paint.net's website. All of these will be linked in the description. So, brief paint.net overview. Here's your toolbar, history, layers, and color palette. So, all of these can be toggleable with these buttons if you want to hide them. If you ever can't find your color palette or history or layers, just go ahead and click here. Here's your options such as save, open and new, edit. This is paste, selections, undo and redo, view, zooming. You can turn on a pixel grid. You can also put down a ruler if you need help to see. You can also change the scale, which I don't recommend doing. This is for flipping and resizing the image. This is for modifying the layers, which we'll get into in a future episode. This is for adjusting the entire image, such as changing it to black and white, or changing the color curves or saturation. And then effects will do stuff such as anything you see here can unfocus it, distort the image, fancy stuff. You may notice how some of these have a puzzle piece. That's because I installed them, which I'll show you how to do in a future episode when we need it. So now we are going to be modifying this texture. You can use any of these. I'm just going to stick with the paintbrush because it's the simplest. So you're going to want to set the size to 1, so you're only modifying 1 pixel at a time. You're going to turn off anti-aliasing. We're going to be coloring it orange, so we're going to just draw whatever you want. You don't have to specifically have to do a smiley face. There we go. So this is our new oak planks texture. You're going to go here, file, save, and then hit OK. Now we're going to go back in game, and because you placed it inside of the development packs folder, you don't need to restart the game or disable the pack, so long as you have it enabled in the right spot. So when you first go into the world, you'll notice nothing will happen because we haven't actually enabled the resource pack yet. So you're going to exit out, go to settings, global resources. Now, if at this stage you do not see this right here, test resource pack, description for test resource pack, that is what we put here. If you do not see it at this stage, you want to make sure you've done everything right. And if you cannot figure out the problem, you can go ahead and comment or contact me on Planet Minecraft for assistance. So now we will activate the resource pack and exit out of the settings menu, in which then it will apply. You won't notice anything different. You can also apply resource packs on a by world basis, but it's just simpler to apply them globally if you want to use them everywhere. So now, here's our new texture applied to our block, like so. Now, as I mentioned earlier, all of these items share a texture, so they've all been updated. Next, we'll be doing another method, which instead of modifying these, will only modify one of the faces of this block. So this will be dealing with JSON files. Now, if you're unfamiliar with JSON files, it stands for JavaScript Object Notation and is usually used for storing data keys or stuff like that. So now we will be deleting this file to make sure that it's returned to normal and creating our own. Now to do so, we're going to need 2 files. We're going to need blocks.json, so we're going to go ahead and copy that. It just goes in the root of the pack next to the manifest. We will also need terrain texture.json, which will go inside of the textures folder right next to the blocks. Now we'll first be modifying blocks.json. Now these are all the items we have in here. So I'm going to choose this one because it has almost everything. So here is your block name in game, which is what's determined in order to see that ID. That is what will appear in the give command. So /give, go here, ancient debris. That's just what will appear here. So this is the block in game. This is the sound it makes, which will be shown in a future episode. And these are the textures. You may notice these are not file paths, so these alone cannot change the texture. So next, because we opened the file from a development resource packs, do not edit the one inside of vanilla. You must make sure you edit the one inside your pack, or else you'll ruin the template and have to re-download it from the website. So For file size purposes, you're going to want to clear everything but one, and for compatibility with future updates. So you're going to want to highlight everything, delete, put down some open brackets, and paste this. Now you may notice it's currently red, and that is because it deleted the other bracket. So basic JSON syntax, you have starts with open brackets. In blocks.json, you have the name of the block equals another set of open brackets, and then tab sound, the sound it makes, comma textures, and another set of open brackets. So this is the parent. These are the children of the parent. This is another. This child of this parent also has its own children, which are here. Now the child can either have more children, or it can have a string. In which case, ancient debris has the ancient debris sound has the string of ancient underscore debris, which will link to another parent inside of a different JSON file, which will link to the file path. So for this tutorial, we will be modifying oak planks, which in the game files are referred to as planks. Now, as I showed earlier, in order to find what goes there, you can simply search it up in-game using the give command. This won't work for every block, but will work for most of them. For the more complicated blocks, you may need to look it up online or search through the texture files. So, planks. Now for the sound, it's just simply wood. Or you can just delete it and leave it default, as we will only be modifying the textures. Now, as we only want to modify one side, we're going to put all of these as planks but one. So you may notice there's down, east, south, north, up, and west. Up and down are the top and bottoms of the block, here and here. Now, north, east, south, and west are determined on where north is in Minecraft. So if you teleport yourself, no, that won't work. So there are actual ways of finding the direction for north, but I won't be going over them in this video, as some of them can be dodgy and hard to do. So we will just be choosing the north side. So east we'll just set as planks, south we'll just set as planks, up we'll set as planks, and west will set as planks. Now theoretically you only need to have north in here, but for purposes of this I'm going to leave them all. So as we want to create our own texture, we're going to do planks underscore new. Now this alone will cause an error in the game to occur if you make sure to save it first. As soon as it goes to load resources, there is going to be a missing texture right here, as planks underscore new does not exist yet. And if we had content log errors enabled, we would get an error here. So now we need to create the file for planks new. So this will be done in our terrain texture.json file. Now we're just going to use this one right here, so planks underscore new, and then you're going to want to go ahead and delete everything underneath it just to clear up file space. If you ever need to reference the original file, you can simply go look in the vanilla resource pack. Now you may notice it is errored out right now because we have an extra comma here and we're missing that closing bracket again, so you're going to want to go ahead and add that. Now, number, MIP levels, you're going to leave this alone. Padding, you're going to want to leave this alone. Resource pack name, you're going to want to leave this alone. Texture data is the parent, which has the children of planks, which has the children of all the different links to the file paths. In which case, it's planks underscore new, which has the child of textures. This links to the actual file path. Now, as our file is going to be called planks new, we can go ahead and put that there. Now, we're going to want to go ahead and find any block. It doesn't particularly matter for this case. This is going to be what we're going to be modifying. I will go ahead and get the planks texture again so it looks similar. So I'm going to copy this, go back to development resource packs and test pack textures blocks, paste it here, and we're going to be naming it planks_new. To rename a file, you can right click it and click this button right here in Windows 11, or rename in Windows 10, or you can just simply press F2. Now we're going to be using paint.net again. So we'll just go ahead and close our old one. Now this one can be different. We're going to be using green instead. So we're just going to draw another smiley face. I'm going to go ahead and save it, like so. So planks_new.png is now here. I may notice I didn't put .png in here because you don't need the file extensions for the file path. Although Minecraft Bedrock only accepts PNG files and TGA or Targa files, which we'll be going over in a later video. So we can go ahead and save this. Now, when we load up the world, the missing texture will be gone and be replaced by our new texture. Here we go. So now that we're loaded into the game, you'll notice that only one of the faces of the block have been replaced by the new smiley face texture. It is no longer on these. This can be helpful if you only want to replace one of the textures of a block and not every single one, because you may notice how only one of the sides is modified. Now, if you want to modify all the sides of a single block at the same time, you'll simply, instead of having these separate directions, you can just have, we'll go ahead and clear the children, planks_new right here. Now, if we reload the game, all the sides of oak planks will have the new smiley face texture on them, because we told the game just to change the texture, not a specific face. Okay, so to sum up, in this tutorial we have shown how to create and modify textures for a block, as well as gone over basic JSON formatting and how to put together a resource pack. In the next episode, we'll be going more in depth about how a resource pack works and how to modify sounds. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. This has been LionCat6, and I hope you enjoyed.